today, what Gray did and what others like him did at the time doesn't sound like much. My students tell me all the time that they're not racist, and as individuals they're not, and they find it hard to comprehend the kind of racism that went on. It was particularly visible in Mississippi in the 50s and 60s and other parts of the South. That's not to say there was not racism in other parts of the country, it just wasn't as telegenic. The things that Bishop Gray did, the things that Gray did in Mississippi in the 50s and 60s were not very radical by today's standards. But at the time, people like him who did the kinds of things he did were truly risking their lives. They were in nowhere near as much danger as an African American would be, but in Mississippi there were people who were killed, whites, many blacks, but and there were quite a number of people who were run out of town because of their racial views, their refusal to buy into the larger racism of the society. So it may not seem radical by today's standards, but in that time it was, and it was taking those people like Gray and people like him were taking huge risks, not only with their lives, potentially, certainly with their jobs, their careers, with their families' well-being, their children's acceptance among their peers. So that it was radical by the standards of the 1950s and 60s.